The blizzard roars like a living force, shaking the windows of Anna's secluded cabin. Snow lashes against the glass in fierce bursts as she feeds another log to the fire. The forecast had promised clear skies, just another broken promise this year. She cradles a steaming mug, grateful for the sturdy walls her grandfather built in this remote mountain haven. A sound slices through the storm's chaos, sharp and deliberate, not wind, not the house settling. Anna tilts her head, straining to listen. The mountains have a way of deceiving the lonely mind, wind whispering like voices, branches tapping on glass like fingernails. After weeks alone, silence breeds ghosts. Still, Anna doesn't regret leaving behind her old life, her fiancé, her career. Some call it a breakdown. Anna calls it survival. Scratch, scratch, scratch. She takes another sip of tea, willing the noise away as a trick of solitude. Then comes a howl, or perhaps just the wind finding a new corner to torment. Anna sets down her mug, the surface of the tea rippling. Holding her breath, she listens, motionless. 30 seconds pass, filled only with the storm's wail. She exhales. It's nothing but the storm preying on frayed nerves. Except, as she's about to discover, she's wrong. Scratch. Another sound, louder now, unmistakable, followed by a whine that doesn't belong to the wind. Her heart pounds as she rises slowly from her chair. Above the fireplace hangs her grandfather's rifle, his final gift. She grabs it, checking the safety before moving toward the window. Probably just a branch, she whispers, trying to reassure herself. Or maybe a raccoon or a fox seeking refuge. But deep down, she knows foxes don't howl like that. Anna steadies herself and peers through frost-rimmed glass. Her heart leaps into her throat and then stops. 2 wolves huddle at her door, their fur encrusted with snow and ice. The smaller one lies collapsed, blood staining the white beneath it in vivid crimson streaks. The larger wolf, silver gray and massive, paws frantically at the door. Its amber eyes meet hers through the window. Anna stumbles back, every wilderness safety lesson flashing through her mind. Wild predators are not pets. Do not approach, do not engage, never let your guard down. The silver wolf whines, a mournful sound that strikes something deep within Anna. It turns to its fallen companion, nudging the smaller wolf's muzzle with desperate gentleness. "They'll find shelter elsewhere," Anna mutters, gripping the rifle tighter. "They're wolves. They survive winters without human help." But the smaller wolf isn't moving anymore. Its breaths come in shallow puffs, growing fainter with each exhale. Outside, the temperature has plummeted far below 0. A night no injured creature could survive. The silver wolf looks back at Anna, and something in those eyes stops her cold. Not aggression, not the blank stare of a mindless predator. Those eyes hold an impossible intelligence, one that pleads with almost human desperation. It throws back its head and lets out a howl unlike any Anna has ever heard. The sound vibrates with anguish, with purpose. "This is insane," she whispers, lowering the rifle. "They're wild animals, apex predators." The smaller wolf convulses once, its muzzle now crusted with ice crystals. Anna's heartbeat thunders in her ears as she crosses the room. Every step toward the door feels like moving through deep water. The floorboards creak beneath her boots. 1 step, 2 steps, 3. The logical part of her brain screams warnings, listing all the ways this could go wrong, all the headlines about foolish people mauled by wild animals. Her fingers brush the cold metal of the latch. The chill bites into her skin. She hesitates, her hand trembling so badly she can barely grip the mechanism. Through the door, she can hear the larger wolf's panting, sense its presence just inches away on the other side. No one helped me when I needed it. No one opened their door. Anna draws a deep breath, filling her lungs with the scent of woods and pine. Her exhale creates a small cloud in the increasingly cold air of the cabin. The latch clicks beneath her fingers, a sound as loud as a gunshot in the quiet space. The brutal wind slashes at her face as she pulls the door open inch by inch. The cold is so fierce, it steals her breath away, sending needles of pain across her exposed skin. The silver wolf goes utterly still, amber eyes fixed on hers, its massive body poised between flight and hope. A predator that could tear out her throat before she could raise a hand to defend herself. For one eternal moment, human and beast regard each other across an ancient divide. Anna steps aside, opening the door wider. Logical or not, she's made her choice. Rifle half raised in trembling hands, she steps onto the porch. The cold is brutal, but adrenaline keeps her from feeling its full bite. The moment her boot touches the wooden planks, both wolves freeze. The silver wolf's eyes never leave hers, assessing, its breath creating small clouds in the frigid air. The smaller wolf whimpers softly. "Just breathe and be," Anna whispers to herself. "Just breathe." Her grandfather always said that, and it's become somewhat of a personal mantra. Of course, her grandfather also said to always maintain distance with wild animals, to not corner them, to never approach. Yet here she stands, mere feet from apex predators, with nothing but a rifle she doesn't want to use and a reckless compassion she can't explain. Perhaps it's seeing how the smaller wolf's leg is worse than she initially thought. The snow beneath the injured wolf has turned to slush mixed with blood, and Anna can see the raw metal of what looks like a poacher's trap embedded in its flesh. Her stomach churns. "Don't move," she says to the wolves as if they understand her. "I'm going to help you." The silver wolf tilts its head slightly, almost as if it's listening. The behavior is so unlike a wild wolf that Anna nearly retreats inside. Wild wolves don't listen to humans. They don't seek help from cabins or bring their injured to people's doorsteps. Moving slowly, Anna sets the rifle down against the cabin wall, close enough to grab if needed, but far enough to signal trust. She steps back inside, gathering blankets, her first aid kit, and leftover venison stew from dinner. When she returns, the wolves haven't moved. The silver one's eyes follow her every movement, intelligent and wary. "I'm making you a shelter," she explains, still talking as if they understand. "Then I'll look at that leg." She arranges the blankets in the corner of the covered porch, creating a windbreak with her firewood stack. The silver wolf watches, its gaze intense and unnerving. Anna places the bowl of stew near the makeshift shelter, then steps back, waiting. The silver wolf looks at the food, then at Anna, then at its injured companion. The silent communication is so clear that Anna's breath catches. "Help your friend first," she says, gesturing to the shelter. "Food's there when you're ready." The silver wolf hesitates, then gently nudges its companion toward the blankets. The smaller wolf limps painfully, leaving a trail of blood-speckled snow. Anna watches, transfixed, as the larger wolf guides the injured one to the shelter with gentle precision. Once the smaller wolf settles on the blankets, the silver one returns to stand between Anna and its companion, protective but not aggressive. "That trap needs to come off," Anna mutters, more to herself than to the wolves. "Infection will set in if it hasn't already." The wind howls with renewed fury, driving snow horizontally across the porch. The temperature continues to drop, plunging well below zero. Anna knows without checking her thermometer that if they stay outside, the wolves might not survive. "I need to help you," she says to the injured wolf, "but I can't do it out here." Anna takes a cautious step forward, then another. The silver wolf doesn't growl or bare its teeth. It simply waits. She kneels beside the smaller wolf, careful to telegraph every movement. Up close, she sees the injuries are worse than she feared. The trap has nearly severed tendons, and the leg is swollen to twice its normal size. "You need to come inside," she tells them, "both of you." The silver wolf's ears perk up at her words. Anna's entire body trembles, not just from the cold. Every survival instinct screams at her to stop, to retreat inside alone, to let nature take its course. Wolves are not pets. Wolves are predators. Wolves do not belong inside human dwellings. Yet these wolves came to her. "This storm is getting worse," she says, standing slowly. "You'll die out here." As if understanding, the silver wolf looks at the sky, then back at Anna. It nudges its companion gently, encouraging it to stand. Anna backs toward the door, holding it open wide. "Come on," she urges, "please." For several heartbeats, nothing happens. The silver wolf stares at her, its expression impossible to read. With deliberate slowness, it helps the smaller wolf to its feet and guides it toward the cabin entrance. At the threshold, the silver wolf pauses, its massive head level with Anna's waist. This close, she can see the power in its muscles, the deadly sharpness of its teeth. One snap of those jaws could sever an artery. One lunge could knock her to the ground. A wild thought crosses her mind. What if she's inviting her own death inside? The wolf looks up, meeting her eyes. Something passes between them, a moment of connection that transcends the ancient divide between human and predator. "I must be insane," Anna whispers. The wolf steps forward, crossing the threshold, guiding its injured companion into the warmth of the cabin. It suddenly feels much smaller, with two wild predators standing in her living room, their fur sparkling with melting snow under the warm light. Nevertheless, Anna closes the door behind them, sealing them all inside. Then, naturally, she gulps. The wolves stand motionless in Anna's living room, water dripping from their fur onto the wooden floor. The smaller one collapses immediately, too weak to remain standing. The silver wolf still watches Anna with those unnervingly intelligent eyes. It makes her want to back away slowly until her legs hit the couch. Her hand instinctively reaches for the rifle she left on the porch. "Great," she whispers. "Perfect. I've invited wild predators into my home and left my only weapon outside." The cabin feels impossibly small now, and every exit route would require passing the wolves. Anna weighs her options. The bathroom door has a lock, the bedroom too. If they attack, she might reach one in time. "Just breathe and be," she mutters out loud. The silver wolf sniffs the air, then slowly lowers its massive body to the floor, resting its head on its paws. The posture seems deliberately non-threatening, almost as if, "Stop it," Anna scolds herself. "They're not trying to communicate. They're not pets. They're wild animals." Yet, as she watches them, the silver wolf's eyes never leave hers. Wild wolves don't seek human shelter. They don't behave this way. Something extraordinary is happening here. Anna can't help but think. The injured wolf whimpers softly, drawing Anna's attention to the blood now staining her rug. "You need food," she says, keeping her voice steady despite her racing heart. Moving sideways, maintaining visual contact with the silver wolf, Anna moves toward the kitchen, retrieving the remaining venison stew and placing it in a large bowl. The silver wolf's ears perk up at the scent. "Here," she says, setting the bowl on the floor halfway between them. "Eat, please." The silver wolf hesitates, glancing from Anna to the food and then to its injured companion. With deliberate movements, it approaches the bowl, sniffs once, and begins to eat. After a few bites, it pauses, looks back at its companion, and emits a soft sound from its throat. The injured wolf attempts to rise, but fails. The silver wolf returns to its side, nudging it gently before looking up at Anna with an expression that seems almost pleading. "Right, okay," Anna murmurs, surprised to feel tears welling in her eyes. "Your friend first." She brings another bowl closer to the injured wolf, who eats weakly while the silver wolf stands guard. The scene feels strangely domestic, yet surreal. The trap on the smaller wolf's leg catches the firelight, a cruel reminder of human indifference. Anna knows this callousness all too well. She wouldn't be here alone, far from the life she built in the city, if she didn't. Unwanted memories surface. The crowded train, the men with their whispered threats, the escape triggered by pulling the emergency brake. Sometimes it still feels like she's trapped there. The smaller wolf's whimpering pulls her back to the present. She needs to remove the trap. Taking a step forward, she whispers, "Just breathe and be," meeting the small wolf's eyes. Approaching an injured predator is dangerous. It could lash out in pain, but Anna refuses to let fear dictate her actions. Fear often stops people from doing what's right. No one had helped her that night. "I won't be that person," she mutters, gathering her first aid kit. The silver wolf watches as she approaches, its body tensing slightly. Anna kneels a few feet away, holding up her tools for the wolves to see. "I need to help your friend," she explains, undeterred by how odd it might seem to talk to animals. "That trap will kill her if we don't remove it." To her astonishment, the silver wolf shifts slightly, creating space for Anna to reach the injured wolf. Working carefully, she speaks in a calm, soothing voice while examining the trap, a vicious device designed to hold prey without killing quickly, ensuring trappers can collect live animals. The smaller wolf whimpers as Anna touches the metal, but doesn't snap or growl. "I'll be as gentle as I can," she promises, positioning the wire cutters. "This will hurt, but then it will be better." She cuts through the spring mechanism first, releasing the pressure. The wolf yelps once, a sound so full of pain that Anna nearly stops. But the silver wolf emits a low rumble that somehow reassures both Anna and the injured animal. Methodically, Anna removes each piece of the trap until only the wound remains. Deep, ugly, but now free of metal. Anna cleans it as best she can, applies antibiotic ointment, and wraps it in clean bandages. Throughout the procedure, the silver wolf never takes its eyes off her hands. "That's all I can do," Anna says finally, sitting back on her heels. She needs rest now, and probably a real vet. Anna adds logs to the fire, creating a barrier of warmth between herself and the wolves. The storm continues to rage outside, rattling the windows with renewed fury. "Just until the storm passes," she murmurs, settling into the armchair nearest the fire. "Then you two need to go back where you belong." Despite her intention to stay awake, to keep watch, Anna's eyes grow heavy. The last thing she sees before sleep claims her is the silver wolf curled protectively around its companion, both pairs of eyes reflecting the dancing flames. She dreams of men grabbing her, sneering as passengers just stand and watch. When she wakes, it's with a jolt just before dawn, disoriented and cold despite the dying fire. For a moment, she believes she dreamed the entire encounter, the wolves, the storm, the trap. Then she sees them, keeping a respectful distance on the far side of the room. The silver wolf is awake, watching her with those same intelligent eyes. But what stops Anna's breath is the smaller wolf because it is standing easily on all fours. No sign of injury or pain. The bandages lie on the floor, and beneath them, where there should be a deep traumatic wound, the smaller wolf's leg appears completely whole. "That's not possible," Anna whispers. "No injury. The wound has healed overnight. But how?" The smaller wolf approaches her cautiously, stopping a few feet away. The silver wolf rises and stands beside its companion, looks Anna in the eyes, and bows its head slightly. A shiver runs down Anna's spine. These aren't ordinary wolves. She can feel it. The blizzard traps them together for 3 days. By the second morning, Anna stops jumping whenever the wolves move around the cabin. She catches herself talking to them as she works, explaining her photography, complaining about the storm, even sharing memories of her old life. "I used to be so confident," she tells the silver wolf as she sorts through camera lenses. He, and she's begun thinking of the wolf as he, lies near the fire, ears perked in her direction. "Then one day I'm standing on this train and these men came at me." Anna pauses, surprised by the emotion welling in her throat. "And I realized the world wasn't safe, I guess." She laughs softly, embarrassed. "Sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you this. Not like you understand." But something in the wolf's steady gaze makes her wonder. "Just breathe and be right," she whispers. The smaller wolf, whom Anna has started calling Frost for her pale, almost blue-tinted fur, spends most of her time sleeping, curled up in a patch of sunlight near the window. Her previously injured leg shows no sign of trauma, a mystery Anna has stopped trying to solve. Some things defy explanation. By the 3rd day, they've established routines. Anna cooks, setting aside portions for the wolves. Silver, as she's come to think of him, seems to prefer venison over chicken. In the evenings, Anna reads aloud from her grandfather's old books. Silver listens with an attentiveness that should be impossible for a wild animal. Sometimes when she looks up from the page, she finds his eyes on her with an expression so human it takes her breath away. "You know," she says on the 3rd night, "I should be terrified having you two here. Instead, it's the least alone I've felt in months." Silver rises from his place by the fire and pads across the room, settling beside her chair. Hesitantly, Anna reaches out, her hand hovering above his head. He remains still, waiting. When her fingers finally touch his fur, it's softer than she imagined. "Definitely insane," she whispers, but continues stroking his head anyway. They sleep that night with Anna on the couch and Silver on the floor beside her, close enough that she can hear his steady breathing. Frost curls at her feet, warm and trusting. Dawn breaks on the 4th day with startling clarity. The storm has finally passed, leaving a world transformed into crystal and diamond. Sunlight bounces off snow-laden branches, creating prisms that paint the cabin walls in color. Anna opens the door to assess the damage, breathing in air so cold it burns her lungs. Silver and Frost crowd the doorway behind her, suddenly alert, their bodies tense with new energy. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" she says, stepping onto the porch. The wolves move past her, descending the steps to stand in snow that reaches their chests. Frost bounds forward, creating a fountain of powdery white, then stops to look back at her companion. Silver remains still, watching Anna. The moment stretches between them. Anna feels something tighten in her chest, a sudden, unexpected grief. "It's time to go home," she says softly. "Back to your pack." Silver makes no move to leave. His eyes hold hers with that same impossible intelligence, that same connection that has grown between them during their strange confinement. Frost looks toward the forest with obvious longing. She yips once softly, a sound of invitation or encouragement. "It's okay," Anna tells them, her voice catching, making a shooing motion. "Go on, go home." Frost trots several yards toward the tree line, then stops, looking back expectantly. After another moment of hesitation, Silver follows, his powerful body cutting a path through the deep snow. At the edge of the forest, he pauses, turns. Those amber eyes find Anna one last time across the distance. Then he turns and follows Frost into the trees, his silver fur blending with shadows until both wolves vanish from sight. Anna stands on the porch until her fingers grow numb, staring at the place where they disappeared. 3 days since the wolves left, and the silence in the cabin presses against Anna's ears like physical pressure. She still catches herself listening for the click of claws on hardwood and turns to share observations with companions who are no longer there. "Pathetic," she mutters, adjusting her camera settings as she frames a shot of a cardinal against the snow. 3 days with wild animals, and suddenly solitude feels unbearable. Before the wolves, being alone had been her refuge, a sanctuary from expectations and disappointment. Now it feels like absence. She takes the photo, checks the display, deletes it. Wrong angle, wrong light, wrong everything. Nothing looks right through her lens anymore. The landscape that drew her here with its pristine beauty now seems flat. Anna sets her camera aside and stares out the window. The snow has settled into a glistening blanket, punctuated by animal tracks leading to and from the tree line. She finds herself scanning the forest edge automatically, searching for a flash of silver fur. "They're not coming back," she tells herself firmly. "Just breathe and be. Move on. They've forgotten you already." Despite this sensible self-lecture, disappointment sits heavy in her chest. As dusk deepens into twilight, Anna steps onto the porch with a mug of tea, watching the stars emerge one by one in the vast mountain sky. The cold air burns her lungs, but she welcomes the sensation. At least it's something to feel. Movement at the forest edge catches her eye, a shadow amongst shadows. Anna's heart leaps into her throat. Silver stands at the border between forest and clearing, his powerful body perfectly still. Only his eyes move, tracking her with that same intelligent awareness that has haunted her dreams. "Silver," she whispers, hardly daring to believe. The wolf's ears prick forward at the sound of her voice. Anna sets her mug down slowly, afraid any sudden movement might shatter this moment. But Silver remains at the forest edge, neither approaching nor retreating. His fur gleams in the deepening twilight. "You came back?" Anna says softly. The telephone's shrill ring echoes through the cabin as Anna washes her breakfast dishes. She wipes her hands on a dish towel, eyeing the old rotary phone mounted on the kitchen wall. She can't avoid them forever, she thinks, and so she crosses the kitchen and lifts the heavy receiver. "Hello, Anna, finally," her mother's voice crackles through the line. "Your father and I were starting to worry." "No need to worry, I'm fine." Anna stretches the coiled cord, allowing her to look out the window where fresh snow blankets the clearing. No sign of Silver this morning, but he'd stayed late last night, lying on her porch until well past midnight. "Being fine and being well aren't the same thing, sweetheart." Her mother pauses. "It's been almost 7 months. The unspoken hangs between them. 7 months since the incident. Anna's mind involuntarily flashes back to the 3 men following her between train cars. One blocked her path while the others cut off her retreat. Their words slithered, their vile hands grabbing at her coat. "Anna, are you still there?" her mother asks. But she isn't, not really. Instead, she's looking through the door window of the train, making desperate eye contact with other passengers. They all quickly look away, one woman even getting up to move to another car. Anna blinks the memory away. "Yeah, I'm here. Your father wants to talk to you." The receiver rustles as it changes hands. "Hi, kiddo. How's the photography coming along?" The forced casualness in his tone makes her chest tighten. "It's fine," she sighs. "Good. That's good. The gallery called again. They're still holding that spot for the spring exhibition." Anna wraps the phone cord around her finger, feeling the walls of her former life trying to close around her again. "I'm not coming back, Dad." "Not coming back at all?" Her father pauses. "Or just not yet. I don't know." She leans against the wall beside the phone, still able to see the forest edge through the kitchen window. "Honey, you can't hide in those mountains forever," her father attempts. "I'm not hiding," Anna snaps. "Then what do you call being all alone in your grandfather's hunting cabin? That's not living, Anna." The memory of the train flashes again, how she'd finally pulled the emergency brake, setting off alarms. In the confusion, she'd escaped onto a rural platform in the middle of nowhere, feeding quarters into a payphone to call her parents. They'd never pushed for details. Maybe they couldn't bear to hear them. "You know, I respect your independence," her father continues. "Always have, but this isn't healthy." "Shutting yourself away from everyone." "From everyone?" Anna's laugh is razor sharp. "You mean from a world where I screamed for help while men put their hands on my body and an entire train car of people suddenly found the floor fascinating? That's the world you want me to come back to?" Static-filled silence follows. "Not everyone is like those people on the train, Anna," her father says softly. "No." She remembers the detective's face, bored, slightly impatient, as he explained why pressing charges would be complicated, how everyone had been so eager to move on, to pretend it hadn't happened. "The world isn't as cold as you think it is," her father says. "It was cold enough when it mattered." Anna wipes angrily at tears she hadn't realized were falling. Nobody helped. Nobody even tried. She can hear her father shaky breathing through the crackling line. "So you've decided to live alone because you can't trust people anymore?" he finally asks. She stretches the cord further, turning fully toward the window. "Out here, I don't expect anything from anyone," she says quietly. "And you plan to stay alone for the rest of your life? No friends, no community, nothing but snow and trees?" A movement catches Anna's eye. Her heart leaps as a familiar silver form emerges from the tree line. Silver walks with confident strides through the deep snow, head high, amber eyes fixed on the cabin as if he knows exactly where she's standing. Despite everything, Anna smiles. Maybe not entirely alone. "What does that mean?" Her father sounds confused. "Is someone there with you?" Silver stops in the middle of the clearing, sitting regally in the snow, waiting for her. "Let's just say I've made a friend," Anna says, unwinding the cord from her finger. "I have to go, Dad. I'll call you soon, I promise." She hangs up the heavy receiver before he can respond. A pattern sets in. Every 2 or 3 days, Silver appears at the forest's edge around mid-afternoon. Sometimes he stays an hour, sometimes until dark, but he always comes. By the second week, Anna begins planning her days around him. She saves her best meat, keeps the camera by the window, and watches the tree line as 3 o'clock nears. "This is ridiculous," she mutters, eyeing the clock. "He's a wild animal, not a dinner guest." But at 3:17, Silver steps from the shadows, and her heart leaps with something dangerously close to joy. Today, she brings out her camera. Silver no longer flinches when she moves. He sits in the snow, 20 feet from the porch, amber eyes fixed on her as she adjusts her lens. "Hold that pose," she says. "The light is perfect." Through the viewfinder, he becomes art, his fur glowing like molten silver in the afternoon sun. Anna loses herself in the rhythm of the shot, briefly forgetting he's a predator. "You're beautiful," she murmurs, reviewing the images. Silver tilts his head as if considering her words. When she looks up, he's watching her with the same quiet intelligence that first caught her attention. "Do you understand me?" she asks. Silver blinks slowly. The deliberate gesture sends a shiver down her spine. The days fall into rhythm. Mornings, Anna works on her photography. Afternoons, Silver often visits. Evenings, she edits photos or reads by the fire. She stops jumping at every noise, stops sleeping with the rifle beside her bed. For the first time since the train, the knot in her chest begins to loosen. On his 10th visit, Silver brings a gift, a perfect pine cone placed on her bottom step. "Did you bring this for me?" she asks, kneeling to examine it. Silver watches, alert and intent. "Thank you," she says softly, pocketing it like a treasure. That night, she places it on her bedside table and touches it occasionally, needing to believe it's real. The next day brings heavy snow, erasing tracks and cloaking the forest in silence. She doesn't expect him, but at the usual time, Silver appears, frost clinging to his coat, forging a path through chest-deep drifts. "You came," she says, smiling, "in this blizzard." Wrapped in her grandfather's old coat, she watches him labor through the snow. His determination stirs something deep inside her. "You're freezing," she says as he reaches the steps. "Come up here out of the wind." To her astonishment, he does, settling beside her chair on the porch. So close now, she sees the ice crystals in his fur, hears the steady rhythm of his breath. Slowly, she extends her hand. He watches, unblinking. When her fingers finally touch his fur, neither moves. Silver leans into her hand. She keeps petting him, and his eyes drift half-closed, calm and content. They sit together nearly an hour, Anna in her grandmother's rocker, Silver beside her, both watching the falling snow. "I never thought I'd trust anything again," she says. "Not after what happened." Silver's ear flicks toward her. "I thought being alone was safer. If I didn't depend on anyone, didn't expect anything." Her voice breaks. "But then you showed up." The days grow shorter. Nights deepen. December turns to January, bringing bitter cold. Anna prepares. More wood, more food, more caution. But Silver's visits ground her. She talks to him constantly about her day, her thoughts, her memories of her past life. He listens with a presence that makes her feel truly heard. "Is this crazy?" she whispers, stroking his fur. "Telling you things I've never told anyone else." "Maybe it is, but the panic attacks have stopped. The fear has quieted." For the first time in months, Anna sleeps soundly. The moose appears like a ghost through the morning mist, its massive silhouette backlit by the rising sun. Anna freezes, camera halfway to her eye, breath suspended in the frigid air. It's the shot she's been waiting weeks to capture. Wild and elemental, perfect. Slowly, she raises her camera, adjusting the focus with fingers numbed by cold. The shutter clicks softly, the sound barely audible. The moose flicks an ear but continues grazing on the frozen underbrush. Anna takes a few more frames, then begins to circle cautiously, seeking a different angle. The light is changing rapidly, the golden morning glow intensifying as the sun climbs higher. If she can just get a little closer, frame the animal against the snow-covered spruce. The forest has become a sanctuary over the past weeks. With Silver's regular visits, Anna has grown bolder in her explorations, venturing farther from the cabin, trusting her instincts again. The moose suddenly lifts its head, nostrils flaring. Before Anna can react, It crashes away through the underbrush, vanishing into the trees with surprising speed for such a large animal. "Damn," she whispers, lowering her camera. "Something spooked it. Perhaps it caught her scent on the shifting breeze." A twig snaps behind her. Anna freezes. 20 yards ahead, a massive brown bear rears onto its hind legs, tawny fur lit by the morning sun. It drops down, sniffing the air, head swinging side to side. Her heart slams against her ribs. It's huge, 7 at least, muscles rippling under thick winter coat. Don't run, don't scream, make yourself big. Back away slowly. The safety course echoes like a distant voice. "Hey, bear," she croaks, raising her arms. "Easy now, I'm just leaving." The bear locks eyes with her, takes a step forward. Then a soft whimper. From behind a fallen log, a cub appears. Anna's stomach sinks. She's between a mother and her baby. "I'm backing off," she whispers, retreating 1 step. "No threat, I swear." The bear huffs, a deep, guttural warning that vibrates through her bones. She moves slowly, murmuring anything, everything. But the bear mirrors each step closer. Its head drops low. It's going to charge. "Please," she breathes. Her heel snags on a root. She stumbles. The bear explodes forward. Anna runs. Branches slash her face. Her boots skid on ice. Behind her, the thunder of paws, the wet rush of breath. A log looms ahead. She jumps, too slow. Her foot clips the edge. She hits the ground hard. Pain, ankle twisted, useless. She crawls, elbows digging into frozen soil, dragging herself through the snow as the shadow falls over her. She rolls onto her back. The bear towers above her, breath steaming, jaws slick with blood. Its growl vibrates in her teeth. "Help!" she screams. The same word she'd screamed on the train, looking into the eyes of passengers who turned away. Just like then, no one answers now. The bear rears up again, a god of muscle and rage. This is it. All this quiet healing, learning to trust again through Silver's steadfast presence. And here at the end, she is still alone when it matters most. The bear drops to all fours, its massive paw raised to deliver a killing blow. And no one is coming. Anna stares into the bear's rage-filled eyes, and time slows. This is how it ends, she thinks. Not in the city she fled, not in the comfort of old age, but here in the wild she'd sought for refuge. The irony doesn't escape her, running from human predators only to face nature's own. The bear's breath clouds in the frigid air, claws extending like daggers. Anna can't even scream anymore, her voice frozen in her throat, her body trembling beyond control, her injured ankle useless. She sees the muscles bunch in the bear's shoulder as it prepares to strike, closes her eyes, and then a snarl rips through the clearing, primal, fierce, and unmistakable. Anna's eyes snap open as a silver blur hurtles through the air, landing between her and death. Silver hits the ground in a crouch, hackles raised, teeth bared, more fearsome than she's ever seen him. He plants himself over her body, facing the bear. "Silver, no!" she screams, panic for him eclipsing her own terror. "Run!" But he doesn't. Instead, Silver meets its fury with his own. He lunges, snapping at the bear's face, drawing its attention. The bear roars and swipes. Silver dodges with uncanny speed, darts in, bites its leg, and leaps back. The bear wheels toward him shockingly fast. For a breath, hope flickers. Silver is quicker, more agile, if he can keep it distracted long enough. Then the bear falters. Its massive paw strikes with devastating force, sending Silver flying across the clearing. He slams into a tree with a sickening thud and collapses in the snow. Anna's scream pierces the forest as the bear turns toward her again, but she doesn't see it. Her focus is on Silver, broken, bleeding, his red blood staining the pristine white beneath him. Something inside her shatters. Without thought, she drags herself through the snow, ignoring the searing pain in her ankle. The bear huffs behind her, but she doesn't stop. She reaches Silver just as he tries to rise, his legs trembling. Blood soaks his fur, his amber eyes meeting hers, clouded with pain, yet still blazing with an impossible intelligence. The bear looms over them. Anna throws herself over Silver, shielding him with her body. She won't leave. She won't turn away. "I've got you," she whispers into his fur, heart pressed against his. "I'm not leaving." She braces for the bear's strike, but instead howls fill the air, one after another, echoing through the trees. Anna lifts her head. Frost steps from the shadows, ghostly pale against the snow. Behind her emerges a black wolf, massive and scarred, followed by 2 grays. No, 4 grays. 6 wolves in total form a protective half-circle around Silver, and around Anna, too, as Frost's steady gaze meets hers. They came for her. The bear hesitates, eyeing the pack. It rises onto its hind legs, roaring, a towering wall of fury and muscle. The black wolf responds with a deep growl that vibrates through the ground. The pack moves as one, circling, flanking, forcing the bear to pivot frantically. Frost darts in, slashing at the bear's hind leg before leaping away. The grays strike next, attacking from both sides. The black wolf remains still, a steadfast guardian between the bear and Anna. The bear swings wildly, frantic, missing every time. Its cub cries out from behind the log, panicked and high-pitched. With a final roar, the bear turns and bolts for its cub. The wolves part, granting passage. The mother scoops up her baby and crashes through the brush, disappearing into the woods. Silence falls. Anna stays curled over Silver, gasping for air. He whimpers beneath her. The wolves close in cautiously, forming a living barrier around them. The black wolf steps forward, sniffing Silver's wound before lifting his gaze to Anna. His eyes hold an awareness no wild animal should possess. "Please," Anna pleads, desperation choking her voice. "He needs help." Frost nudges her shoulder gently, offering reassurance. The pack settles around her, their bodies shielding her from the biting wind. Silver breathes, but shallowly. Blood pools in the snow. Anna strokes his head, murmuring softly, trying to stay calm. "Just breathe and be," she tells him. "Just breathe and live, please, for me." Her ankle throbs mercilessly. The cabin feels impossibly far away. She can't move him, can't leave him, can't do anything. The wolves begin to howl, not wild cries, but a low, haunting chant. Harmony and purpose resonate in their voices, sinking into the earth, into her very bones. Silver stirs. His eyes find hers one last time, and everything changes. The blood-soaked Silver begins to glow. Light spreads across his body like fire racing through paper. "What?" Anna scrambles back, eyes wide. The glow intensifies until she can't look straight at him. The wolves keep howling. The moonlight seems to gather around Silver, engulfing him. She shields her eyes. Her mind screams. It's a hallucination, trauma, blood loss, cold, but it feels real. The light pulses now, a heartbeat, a rhythm that matches her own. The wolves' howls rise, shaking the air. Then, everything stops. The light collapses inward, then explodes. A soundless wave flattens Anna to the snow. The last thing she sees before blackness takes her is Silver's body changing, lengthening, shifting, becoming something impossible. Antiseptic. That's the first thing Anna notices as consciousness returns. The sharp, clinical smell that could only belong to a hospital. Her eyelids feel impossibly heavy as she struggles to open them. The fluorescent lights above send spikes of pain through her skull. She's waking up. A familiar voice says her name. Anna blinks, forcing her vision to focus. Her parents hover over her, their faces drawn with worry. Her father's hand engulfs hers, warm and solid. "Anna?" her mother asks, voice trembling. "Can you hear me, sweetheart?" "What?" Anna's throat feels like sandpaper. "Where am I?" "The hospital," her father answers. "You've been here for 2 days. Concussion, hypothermia, and a badly sprained ankle." Memory returns in disjointed fragments. The bear, Silver leaping to her defense, blood in the snow, the circle of wolves. "The ranger said it looked like a bear attack," her mother says cautiously. "Is that what happened, honey?" Anna tries to sit up, wincing as pain radiates from multiple points across her body. "I was photographing a moose, and then there was a bear with a cub. It charged me." That much is true. But how to explain what happened next? The wolves that came to her rescue? The light that had enveloped Silver, transforming him into what? The memory slips away like water. "You're lucky to be alive," her father says, voice rough with emotion. "If that hiker hadn't found you when he did..." Anna's heart rate spikes, the monitor beside her bed betraying her sudden anxiety. "The wolves," she blurts out. "Did anyone see wolves?" Her mother pats her hand. "The doctor said confusion is normal with concussions. You should rest." "I'm not confused," Anna insists. "There were wolves. One of them was hurt trying to protect me." Her parents share another look, the kind that passes between people who think you've lost your mind but are too polite to say so. An uncomfortable silence falls over the room, broken only by the steady beeping of the heart monitor. Anna's thoughts keep returning to the wolves, to Silver. Is he alive? The memory of his blood soaking into the snow makes her chest tighten with renewed panic. "The doctors say you can be discharged tomorrow," her father offers. "We've booked flights back to Seattle for the following day." "What?" Anna looks up sharply. "I never said I was going back." Her mother squeezes her hand again. "Anna, be reasonable. You can't go back to that cabin after what happened. It's not safe. Your things are already packed." Her father adds, "Your mother went out there yesterday." The thought of them in her space, touching her things, making decisions for her, sends a wave of anger through Anna. "You had no right." A knock at the door interrupts her. A man stands in the doorway, tall, powerfully built, with a quiet intensity that immediately commands attention. He wears simple clothes, jeans, a flannel shirt, worn boots, but carries himself with the confidence of someone completely at ease in his own skin. And his eyes, amber and striking, are familiar in a way Anna can't place. The man seems frozen in place, staring at her with an expression of wonder, hunger, something so raw it steals her breath. "Oh," her mother says. "Anna, this is Peter. He's the hiker who found you in the woods. He's been here every day checking on you." The name doesn't match the sense of recognition flooding through Anna. She's never met this man before, and yet something about him resonates deep within her, like a note struck on a tuning fork. "Thank you," she manages to say, "for finding me." Peter nods once, a slight inclination of his head that triggers a flash of déjà vu so strong it makes her dizzy. "Could I have a moment alone with my rescuer?" Anna asks suddenly. Her mother looks startled. "Honey, you need to rest, and we haven't finished discussing." You could get me some water, Anna suggests, and maybe something to eat. Hospital food is terrible. I'll go, her father offers. Actually, I'd like you both to go, Anna says firmly. Please, just for a few minutes. Her father recognizes the tone, the same one she used as a teenager when she'd made up her mind about something. Come on, honey, let's give them a minute. When the door closes, Anna and Peter stare at each other across the room. He makes no move to approach, and she finds herself grateful for the space, for the chance to examine him without the pressure of her family's presence. Sir, she begins, then corrects herself. Peter, I know this is going to sound strange, but when you found me, did you see any wolves? An emotion flickers on his face, but she can't quite decipher it. Wolves, he repeats, his voice deep and resonant. Yes, wolves. A whole pack of them. Anna leans forward, urgency creeping into her voice. They were trying to help me. One of them was injured, protecting me from the bear. Silver gray fur. I need to know if he's all right. Peter's expression softens, and he moves to the side of her bed. Up close, she notices a fresh scar running along his collarbone, just visible above his shirt. There was an injured wolf, he says carefully, but he recovered and got back on his feet. He's fine. Relief floods through Anna so powerfully that she has to close her eyes. You saw him? You're sure? I'm sure, Peter says, his voice filled with absolute certainty. Anna's heart races, the machine beside her bed beeping rapidly in response to her agitation. Peter gently places a hand on her shoulder. Just breathe and be, he says quietly. Anna's eyes snap open. How did you? She begins, staring at Peter with newfound intensity. The phrase lingers between them, familiar yet inexplicable, as his hand quickly retreats from her shoulder. It's just something my grandmother used to say, he explains. He watches her with an intensity that should feel intrusive, but strangely doesn't. His head tilts slightly as he does so. The gesture feels achingly familiar, and Anna gasps. Do I know you? She whispers. Before he can respond, the door swings open, revealing her parents carrying a tray of food and bottled water. So, Anna, her mother says brightly, too brightly, have you thought about what we discussed? Coming home? Anna glances at Peter, who has stepped back, his expression carefully neutral. But something in his eyes, a sadness, a resignation, makes her heart ache painfully. Thank you, Peter says abruptly, addressing her, for what you did. He extends his hand, and Anna takes it without hesitation. His skin is feverishly warm against hers, his grip firm yet gentle. Peter squeezes her hand once, then releases it. I should go, he says, already moving toward the door. Rest well, Anna. Wait, she calls, but he's already gone, the door swinging shut behind him. About coming home, her mother presses. Your father and I think. I don't know, Anna interrupts. She stares at the closed door, a strange emptiness expanding in her chest. Something important just walked out of her room, something she can't quite remember, but feels like she can't live without. Anna limps to the edge of the cabin's porch, her ankles still tender but healing. The full moon bathes the clearing in silver light, bright enough to cast shadows. Where are you? She whispers to the silent forest. 2 days of sitting on this porch, pretending to photograph winter birds while scanning the tree line for any sign of him. Her mother fills the silence with chatter about friends Anna hasn't thought about in months. I'm not leaving until I know you're all right, Anna murmurs, her breath forming clouds in the frigid air. Her mother sleeps inside, finally succumbing to exhaustion after days of keeping an anxious watch over Anna. Something breaks inside her, a dam of emotion she's been holding back. Tears spill down her cheeks, freezing almost instantly in the bitter cold. Silver, she calls softly, her voice cracking. Please, I need to know you're okay. Minutes pass. Anna sinks onto the porch steps, drawing her knees to her chest, ignoring the protest from her injured ankle. The cold seeps through her clothes, but she doesn't move. "You were there when no one else was," she says to the empty clearing. "You showed me I could trust again. Please, just let me see you one more time." A shadow separates from the tree line. Anna's breath catches as the familiar Silver form steps into view. Silver moves with deliberate grace through the snow, his amber eyes locked on her face, just as they have been countless times before. "You came back," she whispers, rising despite the pain in her ankle. Silver emits a soft sound, almost like a sigh, and watches her with an intensity that feels too knowing, too aware. Anna studies him closely. Those eyes, the intelligence behind them, no ordinary animal could possess such awareness. "You're not just a wolf, are you, Silver?" she whispers. Silver's ears perk forward, his gaze unwavering. "You understand me, don't you?" Anna continues, her voice growing firmer. "You always have." The wolf tilts his head in that familiar gesture, and in that moment, Anna knows her suspicions are true. "Come inside," she says suddenly, glancing back at the cabin where her mother sleeps. "Please." She rises and moves toward the door. Silver hesitates, then follows, his paws silent on the wooden steps. Anna leads him into the cabin, closing the door softly behind them. Her mother remains asleep on the couch, oblivious to their presence. Anna gestures toward her bedroom, and Silver follows with eerie understanding, padding silently across the floor. Once inside her room, Anna closes the door and turns to face the wolf. In the soft lamplight, Silver appears both familiar and mysterious, the creature she has come to trust completely, yet now also a stranger. "You've been watching over me all this time," she says quietly, "coming back day after day when you could have gone anywhere." Silver sits back on his haunches, his gaze never leaving her face. "Why?" Anna whispers. "I need to know why." For a moment, there is silence. Then Silver lifts his gaze toward the window, where moonlight streams through the glass, casting silver patterns on the floor. The air around him begins to shimmer, like heat rising from summer pavement. Anna watches, transfixed, her heart pounding with anticipation rather than fear. Then Silver is gone. In his place kneels a man, tall, powerful, naked except for the moonlight playing across his skin. Anna's jaw drops as recognition hits her like a physical blow. "Peter!" she gasps, stumbling backward until her legs hit the bed. The man from the hospital, her rescuer, looks up at her with those amber eyes she knows so well, the same eyes that have watched her through winter storms and quiet evenings. Silver's eyes. "But how?" Anna whispers, her hand pressed against her mouth. "You were a wolf, and now you're—" She gestures helplessly at him. "You're the man who found me in the woods." Peter nods slowly, his expression wary. "I am," he says, his voice rough as if unused to speech. "But why not tell me before?" Anna asks, her mind racing to connect impossible dots. "Why not show up in human form that very first night? I almost didn't let you in. I mean, I couldn't," Peter explains, still kneeling on her bedroom floor. "When you saved me from the bear, it was the first time I'd been human in 3 years." Anna stares at him, trying to reconcile the wolf she's come to trust with the mysterious man from the hospital, now revealed to be one and the same. Silver's familiar mannerisms in Peter's human body, the scarred shoulder, the way he tilts his head when listening, catch her attention. "This is insane," she murmurs. Peter tilts his head, the gesture so familiar it momentarily distracts Anna from the fact that she's alone in her bedroom with a man. Her eyes inadvertently drop below his face, taking in broad shoulders, the defined muscles of his chest, the narrow trail of silver-dusted hair that leads down his... "You're naked," she blurts out, heat rushing to her cheeks as she jerks her gaze back up. Peter glances down at himself as if just realizing this fact. "Clothes don't exactly transform with us," he shrugs, indifferent. Anna scrambles for the bed, grabbing a blanket and holding it out at arm's length, her eyes fixed determinedly on the ceiling. A moment later, she feels the blanket being tugged from her fingers. Risking a glance, she finds Peter has wrapped it around his waist, though his chest remains bare. The scar from the bear attack is clearly visible across his left shoulder. "It will heal," he says, a hint of amusement in his voice despite the tension in the room. Like Kara's injury, Anna forces herself to meet his eyes, trying desperately to reconcile this powerfully built man with the wolf who slept aside her fireplace. "Kara?" Anna hears herself ask. Peter smiles. "My sister, who you saved," he explains. "She can switch between forms too. Or at least she could until 3 years ago." "What happened 3 years ago?" Anna asks. Peter's expression darkens. "Humans discovered our existence. They came with guns and traps. My father and 2 others were killed." Anna's hand flies to her mouth. "I was the new alpha. It was my job to protect what remained of the pack." Peter looks down at his hands, human hands that once were paws. "I was angry, bitter. I decided humans could never be trusted." Anna nods, understanding that kind of pain all too well. "There's a man," Peter continues. "He appears as a man, someone I'd heard of. He grants wishes." "So, like a genie?" Anna interrupts, picturing that blue cartoon character from the animated film. "Something like that," Peter says. "I sought him out, desperate to protect my people. He said he'd grant my wish, but for a price. He strongly advised against it, actually." Peter pauses, grimacing. "But I didn't listen," he confesses, shame marking his features. "And what did you wish for?" Anna asks. Peter meets her eyes directly. "I wished for my pack to be undetectable to humans, to be safe from their betrayal and violence for as long as I deemed necessary." Anna nods. She understands. She too had felt scared and betrayed, yearning to retreat from the world to find safety. "And the price?" she asks. "What I valued most," Peter replies with a bitter smile, "wasn't what I expected." "What was it?" "My absolute certainty that humans couldn't be trusted." His eyes remain locked on hers. "I thought the magician would take my strength, my leadership, something tangible. Instead, he took my perfect conviction." Anna leans forward. "I don't understand." "The wish was granted by trapping us in our wolf forms," Peter explains. "As wolves, we'd never be recognized as anything but animals." He runs a hand through his silver-streaked hair. "But by taking my complete mistrust as payment, the magician left a vulnerability, a pathway for the spell to eventually break." "When you no longer believed all humans were dangerous," Anna says slowly, comprehension dawning. Peter nods. "The exact words were, 'unable to be detected by humans for as long as you deem it necessary.'" His voice lowers, growing more intimate. "I thought it would be forever." He steps closer, the blanket loosely clutched at his waist. "Then you came along." "Me?" Anna whispers, her voice barely audible. "Yes, you." Peter's eyes darken, the amber deepening as his gaze holds hers. "Who else but you would have opened your door to injured wolves in a blizzard? Who else would have risked herself for dangerous predators?" he murmurs softly. Anna's breath catches in her throat. "You weren't dangerous." "I could have been," Peter says softly. One hand rises, hesitating just shy of touching her face. "You had no way of knowing what I was." I have good instincts, Anna whispers, acutely aware of the space between them. I guess you do, Peter replies, his fingers finally brushing a strand of hair from her face. Your instincts saved us both, me and my little sister. I can't thank you enough. Is that why you kept coming back? Anna asks. Because you felt grateful? No, Peter says with a slight smile. I kept coming back because I couldn't stay away. Anna recalls the long winter days with Silver by the fire, her one-sided conversations, the comfort of his presence. She realizes now that she'd been speaking to someone who understood her every word, someone who knows her like no one else does. So what broke the curse? She asks, feeling oddly vulnerable. What changed? You did, Peter says simply. When the bear attacked and I was injured, you threw yourself over me. You were willing to die to protect a wolf, to protect me. Anna remembers that moment of pure instinct, the certainty that she couldn't let Silver die alone. In that moment, Peter continues, I realized not all humans were my enemies. I no longer needed to hide from everyone. The curse broke because I no longer deemed it necessary. His hand rises hesitantly, then cups her cheek with exquisite gentleness. You broke through years of hatred and fear with one act of compassion, Peter says, his voice low and reverent. His thumb traces the curve of her cheek with infinite tenderness. Anna leans into his touch, her heart thundering against her ribs as she meets his gaze. Those amber eyes that have watched over her through countless winter nights now hold a warmth that melts something frozen deep inside her. I think I've been falling in love with you since the moment you bandaged my sister's leg without a thought for your own safety, Peter confesses, his voice breaking slightly on the word love. Why didn't you tell me before? Anna asks, her fingers reaching up to touch the silver streaks in his hair. At the hospital, when I looked into your eyes, I felt something, but you just left. Because you're human, Anna. Peter's arms encircle her waist, drawing her closer despite the warning in his tone. His forehead rests against hers, their breath mingling in the quiet space between them. A life with shifters for a human, it's dangerous. A life? Anna pulls back just enough to see his face, a small smile playing at her lips. You think you're going to love me your entire life, do you? Peter doesn't return her smile. Instead, his expression grows impossibly earnest, his eyes holding hers with an intensity that steals her breath. I know I'll never love another like I love you, he says, each word a vow. Which is why I left that day, because if I'd allowed myself to stay, if something were to happen between us. His hands frame her face. I know I could never let you go again. The words hang in the air between them, a confession and a promise wrapped into one. Anna feels tears spring to her eyes, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming realization that this man, this extraordinary being who has watched over her in her darkest moments, loves her with the same fierce devotion she feels for him. She answers by closing the distance between them, pressing her lips to his. The kiss is gentle at first, a whispered question finally answered, but quickly deepens into something more urgent. His arms tighten around her, strong and sure, pulling her against the solid warmth of his chest. Anna winds her arms around his neck, her fingers threading through his silver-streaked hair, anchoring herself to him as the last walls around her heart crumble away. When they finally part, breathless and flushed, Peter's eyes shine with wonder. I've waited months to hold you, he whispers against her lips, and it still doesn't feel real. It's real, Anna assures him, her hands tracing the strong lines of his shoulders. For the first time since that terrible night on the train, she feels completely, perfectly at home in her own skin, in this place with him. The fear that has been her constant companion for so long has been replaced by something warmer, brighter, a future stretching before her, unexpected and beautiful. Both she and Peter had withdrawn from the world, carrying wounds and mistrust. Yet, in each other, they discovered healing in the most unexpected way. Outside, a wolf's howl filled the winter night, pure and joyful. Anna smiled against Peter's shoulder, finally understanding the true meaning of that sound. It wasn't a cry of loneliness, but a song of belonging. If you enjoyed this story, your support through likes or comments means so much, especially as I work to rebuild after being demonetized. I'd also love to hear from you. Do you enjoy having more visuals in these videos, or do they feel distracting? Until next time, take care.